My story of living design started when I was working in Dubai. To become an icon, we have to make sure that the vocabulary is right. We only live one life and it is what it is. So here we are with Tarek Hegazy from Living Design, the founder and the lead architect and designer. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Ravi. Nice to be here.
Pleasure
And
to see you
here.
in the beautiful Palma.
Thank you. And it's a pleasure to be here with you guys, with your team, and with all of these amazing suppliers and likewise designers. So it's a family.
Yeah, it is. And thank you so much.
Oh, come on! I'm very grateful for your invitation and grateful for your support as well.
Absolutely. So are we, Tarek. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So today I want to understand more about you. Even though we know you for some years now, you guys have just completed 40 years.
Yes.
In the industry. It's some amazing awards recently.
Sure.
And all of these things. So I would like to delve more into the history of how living design started. How did you get into the field of architecture and design?
Okay. I'll start with how living design started. Living design is the oldest school of interior design in Scandinavia. It's by fact and by numbers. I'm not the founder, but I became a partner throughout the history. It's 40 years old. I've been with the company for 27 years old, 27 years with the company. I started like a senior architect. And it's very strange how it's all started, because I was working in Dubai and the rest of the team were a Swedish team, and they were coming from, again, living design. It's the oldest school.
Okay, so living design is an architecture school in Sweden.
It's the oldest interior design office, and you know, when you really want to say that you're been doing something good, it's sitting on your CV. Then you've been part of living design.
Okay,
That's the stamp you get when you are. Yeah. And I met a couple of them in Dubai when we were working together, and then we all went back. They went back to Sweden. I went back to Vienna, and then they called me up one of the days, a few months after we finished the Emirates Towers. And then they called me up and they said, "Oh, we have a project, and we need your help." And that was a Thursday, 27 years ago. And I said, "Okay, where about?" They said, "Sweden." I said, "Okay, it's just one flight away." I said, "Okay, when do you come?" I said, "Sunday. So we can start working on Monday." And it's all started like that. They went back to Dubai. I stayed.
You stayed.
I stayed. And then in 2006, the partners of Living Design were one of the most prominent Swedish business lawyer, and an architect, and two other partners. They were like really public figures in Sweden. And slowly I grew up in the company, and then I grew within. And in 2006, I got 50% of the company. So my story of living design started when I was working in Dubai, and I was working with a couple of colleagues who came from the School of Living Design. And when you look at through the history of living design, you find it very interesting. It was four partners. One was still one of the most leading business lawyers, and two architects and a businessman. And I started there in 1999. It's exactly 25 years ago. And then in 2006, I start buying my shares through all the way to 2009. And then I became the, the largest stakeholder. Exactly. And then throughout the history, it was, the Swedes they're not interested to do business in the same way as in Dubai. So they like to be very humble. Their business is based on honesty. They don't like the cameras. They don't like to be on the spot. They like to work. They like to do the work. So the principle of business is very simple, and it fitted me. And it's all based on honesty. So from 2006, I start making sure that we have a proper identity, and identity is communicated very clearly. And I never forget that, it's the livingdesign.com in 2006 costed $35,000.
Wow.
And I said, if we to become an icon, we have to make sure that the vocabulary is right. So I didn't have that money. And one of the things that is part of my DNA is that I'm really an entrepreneur at heart. I love to take risk, and I like to take rewards or losses. It's a part of the game. But you have to go after something you believe in. So I collected the 35,000, and I went and I bought livingdesign.com. And I said, now we have an identity where somewhere in the future, people will, I believe we're a family. I believe my team is more closer to me than my own family. We are together for 12 hours a day. You don't get 12 hours with your dogs.
It's true. It's true.
So it is my real family. So we said, okay, we want to all work for a pot, not a person. If we wanted to continue, if we want to be a legacy, we cannot have it attached to a name. We're all gone one day or another. So let's work after a brand. And that's where I started to streamline the brand and make sure that we're all contributing back to living design. And if there is something that I'm very proud of, is that I'm proud of being a part of living design. 40 years is a very, very long years of survival, on good and bad.
Absolutely.
And make no mistake, we had our bad time. We are a product of the economy. The taxi driver is also a product of the economy. So everybody can can have the prosperity years, but they can also have the large years.
Absolutely.
My idea was that even on the hard years, we stay loyal to our core values. And to be loyal to the core values, we had to define the core values. And our core values is based on honesty, is based on being true to what we do, and also on being persistent. So I took a totally different approach in management. I don't manage by a book. I manage by heart. I'm who I am. I'm like everybody say, and I think you know that, they said you're very much outspoken. I said, we only live one life, we have one God, and it is what it is. So I have no restriction in telling what I think.
We were at with your people.
With my people.
Yeah.
My people are my partners, are my right and left hand. Nothing without them. So You're nobody without your team.
Absolutely.
So I discovered early that the best way of perfection is to make sure that you're teaching your team your values and you get the right team that match the same values. We're hard workers, we're honest people, and we learn from our mistakes. Again, we're talking about very, very, very simple values. Sometimes when life gets too complicated, you go down and you break it, and then you discover that it's all about the very basic values. And if you work it there, you solve it there, you have put for yourself the right base to grow. You don't need to grow 1,000%. I don't need that. I'm a very humble person. Um, I believe in the life values. I believe that I can only eat what's in my plate. If I look at somebody else, I distract myself, and I won't be able to eat his or her. So what's good is good at your own plate, and that's enough.
Now, 430 projects, hotel projects around the world,
Yes.
completed 120 plus design awards,
Yes.
again around the world. What more do you aspire for the company, for Living Design?
I know what I know that our values doesn't match a lot of. We're not. We're not. We're a boutique. We want to remain a boutique practice. We don't want to grow above our own values, where you cannot control, or where you need a controller to control the values. So we are looking to inspire others. Every time we get a project, we get a journey with a client. Of course, sometimes you meet fat ones, sometimes, but the majority we meet clients who are at the same par with our values. And then it works very well. We're looking into doing good for our kids.
The future generations.
Yes, we're looking on doing good. We're looking on doing things that stay. We're looking into the sustainability from a different angle, the true angle of sustainability, and not the greenwashing, not the bullshit talk. We're looking into, again, the same values of my grandpa and grandma and yours that was working, and achieved a longevity. And with that, nobody ever complained. We're looking at inspiring the next generation. We're looking at leaving something for the next generation.
Yeah, it's a very
Because that's already a very difficult task nowadays. And when we say we're looking at leaving something, we're probably looking at leaving values, because the next generation are really distorted with the digital world and with the virtual values. So we're looking at leaving tangible values, something that you touch, something that you look at your daughter in the way she acts and you say, no, she's done something right.
Yeah, it's an interesting answer, I must say, because you didn't tell me, look, okay, we're looking at another 100 projects within a certain time.
No.
You said, I'm looking to pass on these values, building something for the future.
Yes. I mean,
interesting.
Ravi, I was just telling the photographer here that we need to understand that the only fact in life is that we will die. So, what do you want to leave for the next? You want to leave a legacy. You want to leave a good word. You want to leave um, a project that is still there after 100 years. Would it be interesting to say that I want to grow and make 100 projects? It's impossible. I want to serve my client with pride. I want the day that I deliver a project, I feel proud of it. I want to bring the best value for my client. End of the, as you say, the last point of the last dot of the sentence. Whether I grow or not on these values, I leave it in the hand of God.
Very interesting, Tarek. Now, Pete, like we spoke about humble, and I can completely agree with what you say about you being very humble, because I've experienced it firsthand. How you have supported us even when we didn't know each other as much. So that showed genuine care for the industry, for the younger people who reach out to you for support. Now, what I've also noticed is it's a very common trait, at least in our industry, amongst the successful people. Of course, people come of different varieties. But the core fact of humbleness and success go hand in hand.
Yes, and I think it's always been my dream. I have 3 girls. A very big topic.
24, 28, 19.
Yes, and the topic is not that I have girls. The topic is that I think girls do not get enough luck in life.
Okay.
And
And this is across cultures.
across all cultures. And if I can do something right, is to pass the knowledge and push them to get better and better and better, to get more luck. Maybe if I can get for your daughter more luck than my daughter, I'm happy. So it's one of the values. Some people were talking to me about. I have a vision, for example, for Saudi. I wanted to open an office. And I was explaining what kind of office. I said, well, I want to open a 100% girls' office. They said, what? I said, I want to have the freedom of thought. I want to have the pioneers, the ladies' pioneers. And I want to be just a tool for them to make them girls. And everybody said that, oh, but girls becomes ladies, have a husband, have kids. I said, and? Are you going to deprive them from their natural right of being a mother? But a mother can work. So, I mean, I don't understand what you're trying to say. So, again, it's just, I'm a believer in it. And I believe that the success is not about, you have to respect the values of the family. And it's a part of the tissue of any woman. But she have the right to grow. So I'm a very big supporter of that. For example, I'm a big supporter of, giving people the tools to grow, to dream.
I absolutely agree to that. I am an example also for that. So I can agree to that. Absolutely.
So again, I'm not a visionary in life. It's, we're all passenger. We are all passenger. I'm just want or wish to be able to be a good tool for the next generation. I got an amazing joy when I transfer knowledge, when I talk to young generation, I try to guide them. And I said, I lack guidance. And that's why I started from scratch. I had values. So never detach from your values. But I was lost and I learned the guidance. I learn it. I earn it by mistakes, by falling into mistakes, by going on my knee, by crawling, by walking, by running. I learned. So I earn it. But I never lost values. So, again, you try to teach the young generation is to, stick to basics, learn that the core values are not something you can negotiate, but you can negotiate anything else.
So you lecture also in universities.
Yes.
So you're teaching. We've spoken for a few minutes now, and we have spoken so much more about the values than the technicalities of design and architecture. So in your lectures, is it a trend also you follow? You think it's the essential part of somebody learning design and architecture?
I think actually the young generation moving to the internet is a very good thing. It gives you heads up, doesn't give you knowledge. This is the philosophy of the paper plane. It's a paper, you make a plane, you fly it. You can guide it. And you can work as much as you want in prediction of wind and so on, but you still can't do anything about it. It's a paper plane. The education system is going lighter and lighter and lighter. And people tend to forget that, you need to work with your own hand. You need to fall into mistakes. And there is no problem into making mistakes. The problem lies when you don't do a mistake, or when you do a mistake and you don't correct it. You hide it, and then you accumulate. But mistakes, everybody does. No inclusions. So the education system is getting lighter, and our job is to try to save, try to educate, try to tell them, okay, this is our values. It's up to you to believe in or not, but they work. And it's based on experience, they work, and based on the amount of falls we had. That's why they work, because we tried her, and this and that. And then we discovered that that this is the best way. We discovered it by experience and by falling and learning from our mistakes. So, teaching the young generation is inspiring, but there's also a big difference, and my heart goes for teaching poor countries, not people who has
The access and privilege.
the people who doesn't have the access. This is where my heart is.
I believe design and architecture is directly connected with the well-being of human beings.
Yes.
And it can impact to the extent that we cannot really we would say politics, for example, impacts the likes of people the most. But in my opinion, I think design and architecture has its place in the way it plays out in the lives of people.
Absolutely. And how I got driven to become an interior designer, because I'm architect by formation.
Okay. Like by education.
But everything is architecture, which gives you the engineering side of all materials. But it never, a building that is beautiful from outside doesn't tell you that it's beautiful from inside. And what does it mean, beauty from inside? Beauty from inside is the comfort of the people using the building. So I've been driven and fascinated at a young age from what does it mean, the comfort of people. And the comfort of people is there's nothing better than being translated into the very simple way of when Le Corbusier, they said, oh, he's genius. He's genius because he only said that you need to follow the human proportions. Any attempt to change the human proportion will bring people to discomfort. So again, interior architecture is about giving comfort of use of anything. It's about the ingenuity of being part of the human comfort of use. When you sleep well, it means that you've been in a good bed, but in a good space, correct ventilation, right temperature. So it's a lot of things. And then you say, I had a good sleep. So when you translate it, there's a lot of engineering and an interior behind. So
There's an impact, obviously.
exactly. I've been fascinated. And then I said, no, I don't want to do architecture. I don't want to speak about the beautiful facade. I want to speak about being able to come in and find your way. For example, one of the very early projects of my life was a signage project for Chicago O'Hare Airport, for an airport. And I never forget that, I had a professor, he said that if you want to design, if you want to do a good design, imagine yourself a pencil. Put your toes on it or your finger on it and rotate it. Look 360 and see everything. And imagine yourself inside the space. And if you feel good, the space is good. If you feel bad, space is bad. Then when I moved to Sweden, they tell you if your stomach doesn't feel good about a decision, it means it's not good. You remember, you know that. So again, it's the first project or the first mega project was about circulation, and I felt like circulation. What circulation? And then you discover that by invisibly guiding people to their gates and letting them find their way at an airport, you actually are contributing 100% to the efficiency of the operation of an airport. She said, what? An airport? Me? Contributing to an... Yes, signage. Yes, an old lady who cannot find her gate can cause delay, can cause millions. Multiplied by a 200 case. That's it. The airport is on its name.
With so many years of success and failures that
Yes.
you've had, what do you think is contributed the most to your growth? Is it success that teaches you the most?
No,
Or is it
failure. Failure. Success doesn't never teach. They always say that success has 100
fathers?
failure has none or one, and they always point at you. So I take pride of my failure. I'm a self-corrective person, so I like to before I put my head to bed, I like to do a quick check of my day, understand what I failed with, and I have the very clearly the culture of apology. I do apologize to anyone where I have made a mistake or where I've thought that my opinion was right and it's not. It was not. So self-correctiveness is one of the very healing process for me.
Are there any moments where a particular or a group of incident happened that sort of pivoted your growth that you strongly often think about?
Uh, Again, people think that we all had a good life or the road was all paved. And the truth is, it was not at all. The truth is that I had a very hard journey in life. I was supported by my family, my very little family, but also by people who believed in me. And I was responsible, and I still, until this moment here, I'm responsible for the people who depends on me, on my leadership. So I better not disappoint them. Um, so you learn, I mean, I lead by example. So if I will ask someone or one of my team to clean their desk, I clean my desk before. I'm the first one in the office. So I don't need to ask anyone to be punctual. I go and do my own tea and coffee. I lead by example. So nobody say, "Oh, he hasn't done it." No, I've done it. Hands on. And I'm very proud of it.
Your notable projects, the sorts of iconic ones. We also spoke about a UNESCO project.
Yes, yes, we've done.
You have under your leadership the Grand Hotel Kempinski Geneva, Intercontinental Davos,
Yes,
several other Kempinskis in Geneva again, in Minsk, in Cairo, and all of them have won numerous awards. They're recognized for their innovative and luxurious designs.
we've done very interesting. 40 years cannot be described as a short journey. It's a very long journey. We have done a lot of. We're very famous of doing difficult projects. Really, throughout our history, I don't know. Maybe we rise better for the challenge. Through our history, we've done more than 50% of Kempinski hotels. We've done 3 UNESCO projects, preserved sites in High Tatras, in 2 in Germany. So, yes, we take pride of a project is a project. Is People look at it differently, Ravi. They look at the project as walls and a core shell and core. We look at it as soul. And the more you nourish it, the more it gives back to the community. It stays for long. It becomes iconic. Everybody age. So we like to think that project can age beautifully and not disintegrate. It's a part of the sustainability as well.
And sustainability is a very integral part of your design thinking and whole
Yes,
process.
but it's about life as well, no? So it's we like to think that we do projects that stay long, achieve value for the owners, achieve value for the building, doesn't age bad. It's a part of it. And yes, we had very iconic project that we are very proud of. We just completed the renovation of a very particular project in Malta. It is connected with history, with workmanship, a lot of people working by hand, and we're very proud of it. These project doesn't come every day. So every few years we have one of those iconic projects where we got called in through competition and where we win it and where we really put our heart into it because we think it's a project that is iconic and will survive beyond our own time. Yeah. So that's in a nutshell what we like to do.
Technology is sort of superseding a lot of factors in a hospitality project.
Yes.
How do you see that the sustainability and technology and then your also your original thinking is all is it like a seamless process or
It's not a seamless process, but it's a part of life. It's a part that you must accept it and you should happily accept it. You should try to integrate it. You should not be against it, should not fight it. A lot of mistakes happen when you fight the technology because you believe that no, it's not going to survive. But we've seen that, there are things that survived beyond their age, and there are legends that died. Nokia died because of Kodak died because of just disbelief, because they fought the technology. They didn't give room for it. So AI is going to be an integral part. It's not going to take over us, but it's going to be a part with us. It's going to have its good and bad, like any experience. Technology must be used, but cannot replace human being. I'm not a person who believes that technology will replace human being because then we are at foul with humanity.
I'm saying, for example, I'm very fond of this place in Morocco, Mazagan Beach Resort.
Yes.
We've met there also.
Yes. Yes.
It's open, lot of sun. There is no automatic blinds. You gotta physically turn the TV on. There's no automation. Everything you gotta control it. There's a certain feel to it.
Yes.
But then there are also hotels where you go, you enter, lights are on a click of a button. Anything you need is accessible. I would say both are needed, and it only depends on what time you're where.
Yes, and depends on the type of this segmental. If you are going for a resort, you wanna disconnect. And the first thing you disconnect is anything related to the technology.
My question for you will be: will the technology overtake this so much that we will see a point when all these natural light and doing manual stuffs will go away?
No,
No.
no, it will never happen. In a matter of fact, there will be more and more layer of ultra luxury hotels and boutique hotels and resort based on discharging technology. So it actually is going to be the contrary, because you will have so many technology that naturally you will create the contra technology.
Yeah.
And no technology will replace human comfort, will replace natural light, will replace the needs of human being for a breeze or a walk on the sea. No, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, I like the open windows.
Exactly.
Get some fresh air. As against everything is happening through an HVAC ventilation.
Yes, yes. So you cannot say technology will replace it. We don't need technology to replace it.
Which country inspires you at the moment with the different sorts of design thinking and culture and all of it?
Everybody. I mean,
inspires you.
I don't think I'm special in saying that, but I think Saudi Arabia. You have two poles. Saudi Arabia is inspiring me with the ultra fast speed development, with the amount of amazing beyond anybody's thought of design, with the free ideas that are moving there, with the and I'm cautious. So this is inspiring me in one side, and then on the other side, uh, like there is this wave of looking at nature from a different perspective. So in the Nordic, for example, the more you go up north towards the North Pole, you find nature that is beyond description. That's also inspiring. And so, in terms of architecture, interior, and so on, it's definitely Saudi Arabia, and probably for the 10 years to come. We need to remain authentic. We need to stick to values. Otherwise, it's going to be a wave that's going to fire back. We need to watch to make sure that the project, this vision, is completed all the way until it's realized. Then after, there is nothing more that makes me happy than just like being in the garden, for example. Doing the simple stuff.
Yeah.
So
Is there any particular uh, designer or somebody that inspires you as well in the field of design and architecture at the moment?
it's all variable. Um, I remember when I was a kid, I was inspired by, for example, Mies van der Rohe, by Richard Miller. So, by there were icons. Now there are too many icons because of the internet, and they are really inspiring. Whether they inspire you to the extent that you get it in your DNA or not, it's depends. Each one is a sponge with a different degree of absorption. So inspiration now is growing and growing and growing, and you are a sponge, but no particular name. There are a lot of them.
So what type of future designers and architects do you want the world to produce? What type?
I would love um, the one who can serve their community best. And I will start like that because I mean, before we conquered the world, you better be good to your community. So I would love the people to think first about to do good for the place where they were raised, to their own community, in a different way, in one way or another, and then take it one step at a time.
Lovely answer again.
It's really from my heart. I mean,
I know.
You come up with very difficult questions sometimes, but it's like, again, it's uh, you know sometimes you
No, these
kind
are all spontaneous questions.
yes, but
only what you have in your heart will come out.
exactly. And it's like, when when you ask your mom, well, what do you want to see me? How she tells you one answer. I want to see you happy.
Exactly.
And we go back home. We go all over the world. We spend our life trying to understand. My mom tells me I want to be happy. She leaves everything. She didn't tell you I want you to have money.
Yeah.
She didn't tell you I want you to have kids. She tells you I want you to be happy and healthy. 2 words. So yeah.
Well, it was a very interesting conversation, Tarek. So much things I've learned about you newly today, And I hope even our audience and whoever at any point chooses to watch this podcast will take one or two insights which will inspire them as well in their life. Thank you so much for being who you are.
Thank you.
Thank you for being there with us even before you knew us as much, and now even more stronger.
Thank you.
And thank you for being here at Palma today. I'm
Thank you.
forever grateful for
Thank you so much.
everything that you do for the industry.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.